let's say you set up LLC, does it save taxes on residential property? And what if LLC buys residential lot?
Welcome to Barry's Bites. Please join our host, attorney and financial advisor Chris Barry.
LLCs, I like to think of them as a box. What a LLC stands for is limited liability company. From our standpoint, we set up a lot of LLCs to limit liability. Like, let's say you do have a rental. We think of that as a hot asset where you could have a slip and fall, and now they can come after you and whatever's in your name. But if you wrapped it inside of this box of an LLC, it limits that liability to just what's inside of the LLC. So whenever we have rental properties or second pieces of property, I typically talk to clients about LLC as a liability protection. So if you have a rental or a second piece of property, what we don't do it is we don't do it for homesteads. So your personal residence, we don't want to put your primary residence into an LLC because it's going to cause you some negative tax consequences where now it's not homesteaded. It could be potentially uncapped. But if you do have second pieces of property, we would look at the LLC strictly to limit the liability. But that's not really what the question's asking. It's asking, is it going to save taxes versus having it just in your name? I would say that, yeah, the LLC big picture would be able to save you some taxes because now you could look at some business write-offs and different things like that. It would be helpful from a tax perspective because now you could look at some more definitive business write-offs. What if the LLC buys the lot for rental property? Again, from a tax perspective, it's probably going to be beneficial. I'm not sure how much it would move the needle per se, but yeah, now you have more of a definitive business and it would be easier to write off taxes. But really, the big reason why we look at LLCs for residential property, second pieces of property, is just the nature of the LLC, a limited liability company. It's limiting your liability. So if someone comes after you, they can only take what's inside the LLC. We do this with hunting cottages all the time or cottages up north, rental properties. Like you have a slip and fall on one of those and that property is in your name. Granted, you might have insurance, but if they go over and above that insurance, you could be SOL. So by putting together that LLC, you're limiting that liability. You're building a wall around it. Versus like your insurance or umbrella coverage, that's kind of building sandbags. But let's say whatever the claim is over whatever your insurance, now they're going to come after you. But if it's inside of the LLC, it's protected. So that's why we really like LLCs. Not so much from a tax perspective, but more from just a limiting liability perspective.